Why Switzerland loves its bunkers and tunnels so much. Underground, the places where the Swiss store memories, myths and a part of their identity. We take a guided tour with the geographer and science fiction author Andrea Rednick. The network of tunnels that crosses the depths of Swiss territory is of epic proportions and legendary influence. Indeed, the country has a uniquely passionate relationship with its subsoil, from its railway tunnels and wine-tasting cellars, Konotsit, to the strategic military network known as the National Redoubt. Wanting to know more about these physical and imaginary relationships, Horizon spoke with Andrea Rednick, a geographer specializing in living spaces and a lecturer at EPFL and the University of Neuchâtel. Rednick was born in what is today's Ethiopia, and also writes science fiction novels that regularly feature subterranean worlds. How do you see Switzerland's relationship with its subsoil? First of all, there is an identity aspect. A part of the national identity has been built up in connection with the Swiss ability to dig tunnels. A lot of attention is paid to the fact that our tunnels are the longest. Even though that's not technically true, the Gotthard may be the longest people-carrying railway tunnel that passes under mountains, but the longest tunnel is the Guangzhou, Aka Canton, Metro Line 3 in China. It's just nobody here admits it, and the Chinese don't care, precisely because tunnels don't form part of their national myth. Borders move not only historically, but also geologically. The Swiss obsession with tunnels obviously has economic aspects. There is know-how to export, and a market value to prove. As with the underground nuclear fallout shelters during the Cold War, it was partly the result of the cement industry lobbying parliamentarians for their mandatory construction. During the Second World War, the Swiss population was convinced they would end up in the National Redoubt. Mistakenly. Like the 7,000 tons of ammunition buried during the Second World War in the Mythols depot in the Bernese Oberland, which caused a deadly explosion in 1947, and could explode again. Yes, and like the secret P-26 army document entrusted to the Swiss Resistance Museum in Gstaad, inaugurated by Federal Councillor Uli Maurer in November 2017. They are now in the same bunker where the secret army trained. The organization was established to orchestrate resistance in case of invasion by the Warsaw Pact countries, and as such the archives are classified as "top secret" pursuant to a decision of the Federal Council. They will be declassified in 2041. We have not only buried our memory underground, but also our past intentions, and even our battles against a more or less mythical enemy that no longer exists. In the imagination of the underground, all of this can resurface at any moment, like in Emir Kusturica's film Underground, where, long after the collapse of Yugoslavia, a tank emerges from a tunnel and sets about its battle operations looking for an enemy. You have explored all kinds of depths in your literary work. The first time was in my novel Naufrage, Shipwreck, where the characters travel by boat through watery tunnels in subterranean Switzerland. The idea referred to two national mythologies, Switzerland as the connection hub of the Alps, and the National Redoubt, the system of alpine fortifications designed to ensure the defense of the country during the Second World War. The underground has a double imagery. It is the world of the dead, but also a place of gestation. Another source of inspiration was the 1952 short story by Friedrich Dürrenmatt, The Tunnel. Traveling by train between Zurich and Bern, the protagonist enters a tunnel. Time passes, until suddenly he realizes an hour has passed, and the train has still not come out into the light of day. In my story, other things also go wrong. Part of the wall gives way, a bit as if the ideal of Switzerland was crumbling, and the boat is carried away over a waterfall through the whole large Verne. The story then takes us into an underground world, inhabited by soldiers from all periods of the past, from Arnold Winkelried to General Gizon, who remain hidden and preserved in the National Redoubt. It's the same underground imagery that you used in your novel The Maps of the Krayenski Boyar. This is the story of a Swiss cartographer who is sent on a mission to define Europe's eastern border. The cartographer arrives in the castle of Aboya, somewhere near Ukraine, where he aims to study a collection of old maps so as to establish the exact line of the border. But the maps all contradict each other, not lining up with one another, and then of course the castle is also slowly sinking into the ground. There are two themes that interest me here. One is linked to a branch of geographic information systems called geodesy, which is used regularly to recalculate the coordinates of a series of points on Earth. The landmarks move relatively quickly. Continental drift is as high as 10 to 15 centimeters per year, which is some 2 kilometers, since the foundation of Jericho. I'm fascinated by the fact that even land isn't permanent, given the movement of tectonic plates. Borders move not only historically, but, it appears, also geologically, following this movement of the Earth's very surface, further implying a fundamental instability of any reference territory.